Greetings, friends, and thank you for coming to the pasteurization. Let me take this off. This is recorded on April 18th, 2020, and we are still in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, and hence the mask. And my topic today is about living outside of ourselves. Excuse me, I gotta put my glasses on. I didn't have my glasses on when I put the mask on because I sort of look like some sort of space alien with both of them on. So I opted for one and then the other. But this to me represents a level of selflessness on several levels. Um, First of all, this was left for me as a gift um, by someone I know in the church's husband made it, and I didn't even know that he knew how to sew, let alone was thinking about me and made me this really, really nice cloth mask to have. Before that, I was just wearing handkerchief and some rubber bands and some duct tape that I had put together for myself. And so the first selflessness that this represents is that someone thought of me and my well being and my not desiring to cause injury to other people. He thought of me so much that he made a mask for me and left it. And it's really a it's really a nice mask. I mean, I like it because it kind of reminds me of that sort of '90s skater style. Almost makes you want to do some new kids on the block, or I don't know, just something cool and funky fresh. So that's the first thing, is that someone thought of me, and I didn't even ask. I didn't even say anything. And then to have this just show up was such a gift of love. And so now every time I put it on, I think of that love and support and caring. It's truly amazing. Secondly, I, even though I love the gesture, I really hate wearing a mask in public. It's uncomfortable for me. My beard gets kind of smushed in there. Let's see, it's gonna kind of fix it up. It's just troublesome, and I forget it, but I do it. I do it, and I see other people doing it. And the reason why I do it is not because I look especially good in it or I like pretending I'm an ER doctor or something. It I do it because, and I'm not afraid that I'm going to get sick. I don't want to be spreading anything to anyone if I have to run out and get some eggs or some supplies or toilet paper or something that I need. I don't want to even present a risk of my talking to someone and the virus, whether or not I have it, because no, well, there's no testing, so nobody really knows for sure. I'm healthy right now, and I think everything is good, but you don't know. So, for the love of others, I wear this. I have been a little bit disturbed of late, hearing different commentators and people talking about, well, we need to make sacrifices, and if some people die, at least the economy will be saved. They don't realize what it means to be sick with this. And you're not talking about you yourself dying, you're talking about someone else possibly getting it. We're social distancing not for ourselves, We're social distancing for others. And if you have ever seen what was going on in Italy or Spain, some of the reporting there during the height, it was really tragic. I mean, doctors having to choose who lives, who dies. Hospital hallways being turned into makeshift rooms. Really hard stuff. It's not about, oh, I might get a little bit sick. Oh, I might die. It's that, oh, I might give this to someone else, someone who has no choice, someone who doesn't want to die, someone who doesn't want to be sacrificed. But because of my selfishness, my desire not to wear a mask, my risk that, oh, I can go take a risk, but I'm putting someone else at risk. And this is where it comes from. Not only is it about death, it's also about workers. It's about grocery workers trying to stock shelves. It's about ER docs and hospital docs and nurses and respiratory therapists. We never hear about the respiratory therapists, but they're all overworked. And if this goes unchecked and people say, well, I'm willing to take on the risk, they don't realize all of the people that they're putting at risk and all of the people who have to go stay in a hotel room because they don't want to bring it home to their families. And so just saying, well, I want to go to the movies because we need to get the economy going, or I want to go shopping, or I want to go hunting, or I want to do whatever I want to do is not the point. We do this. We socially distance. We take precautions not for ourselves, but for others. And this is the important part. And so my Bible quote today comes from the letter to the Thessalonians. It's from the first letter, 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 15. And it says, see that none of you repays evil for evil, but always seek to do good for one another and to all. And so I'm not saying that it's evil to want to get the economy started. It isn't, and it's hurting, and it's painful, and people are suffering. And I think that our governors and some of our politicians are truly pained. Nobody wants to see the economy stopped. But because this virus is so terrible, and we've seen what it's done to other countries, like Spain, like Italy, we need to do everything that we can and to hunker down, to think of others, and then muddle through this together. And so we need to support one another. And so when there's talks of liberation, the liberation doesn't need to be done so that I can go shopping or I can do what I want. The liberation comes from doing what we need to do together, what we need to do to support each other, what we need to do to reject evil. And that evil is the impulse we have to do things for ourselves and think of the other person. And so once we do that, we can become liberated from the shadow of this virus, and we can become liberated from the shadow of selfishness, and we can do what we need to do to come back together and support each other as human beings. And this is my prayer. It's not easy. It's very, very painful. But it's not as painful as having clogged up hospitals and doctors having to decide who lives, who dies, of families having to watch their loved one enter a hospital and then never see them again, ever. I'm not even able to do funerals because we can't have gatherings. This is painful, painful stuff, but we need to do it to support one another, to live in the good for all and not to return evil for evil. So, a little bit heavy today, but you've been pasteurized. So, if you have a comment, I would really like to hear your comments and thoughts. Hit subscribe, hit like, and I will see you the next time. Be well, be safe, be a blessing. This is Pastor John.